Welcome to the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Larry Harrell Jr. Brought to you by Advanced Rehab, Pristine Water, Bruce Kennedy Tire, Sinorama, and by the Copper Pig. Now here is your host, Mr. Brunswick High, Kip Branch.
Welcome to the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Larry Harrell on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Kip Branch on location at the Copper Pig, where we are each and every Thursday night for the entire football season. This segment of the Coach Larry Harrell Show is sponsored by the Copper Pig, Advanced Rehab, Pristine Water, Bruce Kennedy Tire, and by Sinorama. And now joining us this week, a victorious Coach Larry Harrell.
How you doing, Kip?
I'm doing fine. Coach, we go to Richmond Hill last Friday night. Play a great game, up and down the field, winning, losing, get down in the second half and find a way to come back and win and dodge the last second field goal and get our second win of the season. Thoughts on that football game?
Well, first of all glory and honor goes to God just for sustaining us through a difficult past 6 weeks. And just glad that He saw us through these difficult times. Like I said earlier in the week, I'm just so thankful because, you know, these kids could have mailed it in and tanked it in, you know, long time ago. But they continue to believe in the coaches, they believed in the process, they continue to work hard. And, you know, it finally paid off, and it just felt so good as a coach to finally see my kids enjoy themselves. There were smiles everywhere, there was excitement. And just the fact that after they won, they was immediately like, Coach, that's what we get 2 more, you know. So, you know, it was just good for our program, good for these young kids, and I was definitely glad for the seniors.
Coach Sean Smith kind of had his coming out party for the 2015 season last Friday night. He's been injured and nicked up and banged up for weeks, but last Friday night, try these numbers on for size: 21 carries, 224 yards, 3 touchdowns, 8 for 10 through the air for 74 yards with another touchdown, 298 yards of total offense, and on that 80-yard touchdown run, that was just a thing of beauty. Comment about the junior moving in at quarterback, played his best game of the season.
Well, first of all, to add on to that, he was also voted the Brunswick News Player of the Week this week. He was the Farm Bureau Player of the Week, and I think your broadcast nominated Player of the Week.
Mm-hmm.
Just a phenomenal outbreak. I really haven't seen the best Sean Smith until Friday night. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know he was that explosive and fast, because it never really shows in practice. One of the things they're working on is his practice habits. You saw it in a couple of games, Effingham, Wayne, but I just hadn't seen that consistent playmaker ability. And Friday night, I don't know where that came from, but it came, and at much needed time. And the thing that I like about that kid is he's so competitive. Like I said, Monday through Thursday, we're working on that. But on Friday, he's so competitive, kid. I mean, he wants to win so badly. You can see it in the coffee game, and the thing that stuck out to me in that game was it wasn't even so much as him running the ball as was his blocking. You know, Sean had his highest grade for that coffee game, but a year in the coach was like, Coach, he's buying in. He's chasing guys down from the backside, 20 yards, trying to cut off backers. And that just made me excited. And we came in Monday and just told him, hey, we're going to give you the ball and let you be the leader that you know you can, and he didn't disappoint. The other thing that shocked me is how good he's a very good thrower. You know, had a 40-yard pass down there to our freshman Calvin Godet. You know, had some key third down conversions that kept drives going. And that's all you need. That 8 for 10 is efficient enough to keep the defense honest, where they could just pack the box. And it allowed that balance for him to be explosive, because he could make a safety miss. We just had to get our offensive linemen on those defensive linemen and linebackers.
This is the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Larry Harrell on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Coach said offensive line, we got to focus a couple of minutes on this offensive line. 282 yards rushing last Friday night against Richmond Hill. And we had at least 3 or 4 long runs of over 30, 40 yards called back due to penalties. those guys were really knocking people off the football. A lot of youth on that offensive line still, but man, they had a great game. Probably their best. That's probably the best I've seen a Brunswick High offensive line play in quite some time. Your comments?
Well, I'm just proud of them, and to show even more youth. Chad Matthews, our senior, was banged up, so he wasn't able to go, and we inserted Big Jabari Williams.
Yeah.
So they have he's a big man if you never met him. He's 6'3", 310 pounds. He's on the left side with Demery, who's 6'6", 320 pounds. So we have a great wall over there on the left side, again with Ty Henson, John Kano, and Warren McClendon. I also got to add, we got 2 real good tight ends. We've been using the tight end sets more. We have 2 juniors, Mr. Wiley Golden, who's about 6'4", 230 pounds. We also have Corday Bradley, who's about 6'1", 6'2", scored his first varsity touchdown ever. And he's about 240, 245. And then all those kids are coming back, and they're going to cause a threat as teams start loading that box where we get the ball. And those are big targets that we get them to, and I'm just proud. None of them ask for the ball. They just want to block, and they're content with helping the team out any way they can.
That touchdown catch by Corday Bradley was a heck of a catch on the pylon, big tight end. How much is Corday? He's probably 230, 240.
Well, actually, I think he's a little heavier than that. He's about 240, 245.
I mean, he basically tight roped over there by the pylon, caught the ball with his hands, pulled it in, and we needed that touchdown. I think that was on a third down. We scored that touchdown. So that was our first score tonight, and kind of got us second score. Kind of got us right back in the football game because we got down a little bit early, and that guy's got a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, and Wally has just good hands. We flex him out at receiver sometimes. More last couple of weeks, he's been more of an inline blocker, and he laid some devastating blocks. I mean, he knocked the kid out in Richmond Hill, and I was laughing. I said, "What was you doing?" He said, "Coach, I was trying to put all 230 on him." Wally's one who played basketball, didn't really want to play football. I'd been begging him, and finally in spring football, he said, "All right, Coach, I'll come out." But Wally's a kid. He wants to do everything perfect. In the weight room, he does everything perfect. Whether it's power cleaning, squatting, whatever, he's a technician. He's smart. Kid's a 4.0 GPA. I think he told me he scored some high astronomical number on the SAT. I mean, he's a bright young man. Probably going to end up at Stanford or Yale somewhere. And I told him that, he's going to have a bright future football-wise if that's something he wants to pursue. So just happy with him, happy with what he's doing. And, again, that offensive line is coming together. And I'm just excited. That's the offensive line that we're looking forward to having going into 2016.
And the great thing about that, all 5 of them come back next year on that offensive line. More to come on the Coach Larry Harold Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Right now, these words from our sponsors.
Best barbecue and smokehouse in Glenn County? The Copper Pig. Located at 704 Mall Boulevard. Local meat and produce markets, live gators for the kiddos to feed, mechanical pig, a $1.99 drink menu, and so much more. From barbecue to steak, you won't find it any better than at the Copper Pig. 912-289-9880. The Copper Pig is your proud home for the Larry Harold Coaches Show all season long. Thursday nights at 6 p.m. and go Pirates! That back won't stop aching or that knee won't stop throbbing? Your answer is Advanced Rehabilitation and their staff of professionals. Locations in Brunswick and on St. Simons for your convenience. Go to the place that is trusted by student athletes all over the Golden Isles as well as professional athletes. Advanced Rehabilitation specializes in neuro and orthopedics and will have you back in the game in no time. Find a clinic near you, physicaltherapygeorgia.com. Bruce Kennedy Tire is your hometown destination for tires. Michelin, Goodyear, and all the brands you trust. But don't let the name fool you. Bruce Kennedy Tire, located at 2928 Norwich Street, does more than just tires. Brakes, alignments, repair work, and more than I can mention. Bruce Kennedy is locally owned and operated so you get the best service in Glenn County. So give Bruce a call at 912-264-6578. Bruce Kennedy Tire, a name you can trust.
Welcome back to the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Larry Harold on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Kip Branch on location tonight from the Copper Pig. This segment is brought to you by the Copper Pig Advanced Rehab and by Bruce Kennedy Tire. Coach, I noticed this after the football game Friday night. There was a lot of excitement. When that field goal got missed by Richmond Hill, I mean, I was worried that we might get a penalty for just excessive celebration. I saw you run out on the field and just start trying to calm these kids down, and everybody was excited. I was excited. Teddy was excited. We get down there, post-game, congratulatory talk with the team, patting everybody on the back. And Sean Smith, the kid that probably had the most reason to be the most excited, he was chilled out with his headphones in his ear, just like it was another day in the office.
Yeah, he's a very cerebral kid.
Yeah.
He's not braggadocious at all. Just a humble kid, comes to work and really quiet. And like I said, you know, it's taken us, me and my staff, a lot to learn of these kids this whole year. And the thing I learned about him is that even though he has a laid-back demeanor, again, when those bright lights come on, that joker can turn it on. And I mean, it's just great to see. And the offensive line really loves the fact that the only time he celebrated the whole time, out of those 4 touchdowns, was when he threw the touchdown to Corday, because that was Corday's first touchdown of his career. He jumped on his neck. And, you know, just that team, we've been preaching team all year long, and we finally got that breakthrough. And I just feel like we're so much better. Another thing I want to talk about is the play of our defensive line. Our defensive line, we playing lights out, kid. They totally shut down the Richmond Hill running game, made them one-dimensional. Our whole game plan was to shut down number 12. And other than some broken scramble plays that he had, you know, his design quarterback runs, we kept it to kneel and forced him to throw the ball. The thing that surprised me is how, man, Richmond Hill has some pretty good-looking athletes. I mean,
They
you're
had
talking
some
about
real
6'2",
good-looking athletes.
6'3", 6'4" across the board. And the thing they were saying was, after the game, Coach, you know, great game, but hey, it's going to be even bigger next year because y'all young and we young. I mean, that's coming from the players. So, you know, it's just great to see the competition that's building the appreciation that our kids are gaining. You know, our record clearly doesn't indicate the way we play or the way our kids play. Again, you know, Jeremy Smalls is using his technique. You know, Reggie Jackson, I think you call his name every other play. Tony Hayward, Seth Neugebauer, moving from offense to defense, has been a stalwart. Cam Fudge, Sherrod Frazier probably played his best game that he's played as a Brunswick High Pirate. Sean Ward laying out, you know, laid out a real physical block, or I'm sorry, hit when that receiver crossed the middle. And the thing I want to point out is that Sean had a bad stinger, and he laid that hit anyway. And what happened is they had 2 third and short conversions that he was trying to get. And none of those receivers, we call it gator arms, after he laid that hit, wanted to catch that ball. And I told him, I said, you became an enforcer. They didn't want to catch that ball because they was afraid that, you know, and that's what you want. That's what caused them to have to kick that long, you know, 36-yard field goal, which eventually missed. So I just appreciate the sacrifice of our guys. Again, you know, Skylar Bass tackled great. Donovan Oates being the secondary, Santana Clark. You know, I'm just proud of my guys and just proud of, you know, them for continuing to fight despite all obstacles and adversity they faced this season.
You know, one of the things that I want to see when we go to Ware County in 2 weeks is if we were able to get Sherrod Frazier's uniform clean, because all white uniform, his uniform was dirty Friday night because he was just laid it on the line every play, and he looked like he had on black pants and a black shirt when that football game was over.
Yeah, he really played it hard. All of the kids did, and you know, I don't mind, you know, soaking in our uniforms and OxyClean all weekend as long as we can keep getting those results.
There you go. Coach, I want to go back to the receivers a little bit. The thing that impressed me about your wide receivers, we only, you know, count the tight ends in that group. We had 8 catches, but we got things when we needed it out of the receiving core. DJ Whitfield gave us a little bit of spark early in the game with some runs on a jet sweep. But those guys really blocked well last Friday night, and I was impressed with some of their blocking. I remember a couple of plays in particular with the read option where your wide receivers. I think Mosley, number 12, came crack back one time and got a block that might have spun Sean on that 41-yard touchdown and put us ahead for good in that football game. I can't remember if it was him or not, but somebody got a great block from the wide receiver corps on that last touchdown run. And they have really been blocking well. And I know you were hard on them at the beginning of the season about blocking. It's not all about catching the football. It's about total team effort and blocking when you want to do that, run the football is part of it.
Yeah, we talk to all our skill guys on offense. I'm a former offensive lineman, and the thing that really gets under my skin is when I see, players that don't want to block for each other. I mean, a running back, when you get these long yardage plays, it's because a receiver, it's because a tight end, or somebody is blocking downfield. That's the only way we get those explosive runs. And the thing I always tell the guys that when we get you the ball, you're going to want them to block hard for you. So how about you block hard for that person when they get the ball? And we just try to create that team concept. We're a team that tries to spread the ball around. We got a boatload of young, talented guys. And just like I tell the guys, each and every week is going to be somebody else's week. It was Sean's week. That week, Shaq has had his games. Kenneth Dallas, and on and on and on. And that's how the recipe is going to be, is that every week, a defense should be on edge of wondering, okay, who's it going to be this week? And a successful team to have that. One thing I know, you're a big Bengals fan, is that the thing they talk about the Bengals offense, there's so many weapons. They got 2 good running backs. They got, 3 good receivers. They got a big tight end. And it makes it difficult for any defense to cover. You can't stop everybody. So, that's the culture we try to create. And that's the culture we have created over the last couple of weeks. And just going forward, the kids know the mindset and that selfishness and just conceit is going out the door and out of our program.
Speaking of the Bengals, they got a wide receiver there that I wish could come back to Georgia one more time and dress out this Saturday down in Jacksonville. Ooh, we need him big time.
And A.J. Green, how many times you've heard about receivers being divas? Your Terrell Owens, your Chad Johnson. You never hear nothing about A.J. Green.
Never.
And I think I read an article this week, and he was, talking about the other young receiver and, how they stick to their game plan. There's no game plan designed for me, him, he's saying, or Jeremy Hill, or Giovanni, the other one. But it's like, our game plan is whoever defense takes away, we're going to get it to those other guys. And if people are double teaming him, he said, that means my other playmaker. And as a coach, you love that, because now I don't have to worry about, okay, if I don't get this guy the ball, he's going to be upset. It just makes you so much relaxing. As a coach that know I can just go into there, go with a game plan, and whoever so happens to have a big night that night has it, and everybody's going to be happy for them.
And I noticed, Coach, we're about to go to the break here, but I noticed you threw a LSU Tiger in there too when you were talking there. So we'll be right back to the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Larry Harold on the Bishop Media Sports Network.
Your go-to for your business's sign, Sign-A-Rama, located at 5701 Altama, has everything you need. Flyers, business cards, banners, wraps, decals, lettering, displays, and so much more. 912-265-6463 or online at www.signarama.com. Locally owned and operated, Sign-A-Rama is a proud supporter of Glenn County Athletics, and let's go Pirates! Pristine Water is your destination for pools, spas, and pool supplies. From installation to maintenance, Pristine Water is your best choice in all of Southeast Georgia for your next pool or spa. Give Pristine Water a call at 912-264-9233 for a free estimate, or stop on in at 166 Key Circle Drive, or check Pristine Water out online at pristinewaterandpools.com. And go Pirates!
Welcome back to the Brunswick High Pirates Coaches Show with head coach Larry Harold on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Kip Branch on location from the Copper Pig. This segment is brought to you by Pristine Water and Sign-A-Rama. Coach, I got Mitch Fenner in my Wednesday morning 707 prayer group. And he came in Wednesday morning with a big smile on his face, and I said, I'd have a smile too if my 39-yard field goal ended up being the difference in a football game and got us a big win. He's really starting to become a weapon for you inside the red zone. Talk about him.
A huge weapon.
Yeah.
Anytime we get inside the 30 and, we didn't convert a third down, I just look at Coach Vaughn and say, hey, let's go. And he points at Fennerman, sends him in, and he's just a great kid. Again, can't say nothing about his work ethic. Comes from a great background, good parents. Just a jovial kid. Just one of the guys. Isn't a kicker that is off in the corner by himself doing his own thing. He's truly one of the guys. So just glad and happy for him because he worked so hard to see that. I told him right at the end, I said, do you realize your field goal was the winning, points to get us over the edge? I know he's upset with himself for missing an extra point, but I told him don't beat yourself up. Just keep going. And he came through again on a 30, what was it, 38, 39?
39-yard field goal.
39-yard field goal. And his thing now, Coach, we gonna let me kick a 50-yard. I'm like, son, let's just get a couple more wins up under our belt. So, like I said, again, I'm happy for him. He's probably the best kicker I've had. No doubt, he's the best kicker I've ever had in my coaching career, my 14-year coaching career. And I told him before he leaves Brunswick High School, you'll go down as the greatest kicker in Brunswick High School history. I have no doubt.
Coach, talk a little bit about the end of the first half. It had the Brunswick High broadcasting crew baffled when we had to punt from our end zone. Richmond Hill called a fair catch on their 35-yard line, and then it seemed like chaos erupted. They were lining up for a free kick right there with 0.2 of a second left in the half. And I guess the Brunswick High broadcasting crew needs to read the rule book a little bit better because we were baffled. Explain that rule. I've never seen it happen in 9 years of doing Brunswick High football.
It is a very rare situation. I thought it had to be on a certain down, but the referee informed me that on any down in high school football, once a team fair catches a ball, that they can immediately go for a free kick. And so it was the perfect scenario. We were pinned back deep. We punted to the 40-yard line. The kid waited fair kick and left 0.2 seconds on the clock. And they lined up for a free kick, which instead of somebody holding it, they line up like they're kicking off. They put it on the tee and kick it. Thank God he missed it.
If the situation was reversed, would you have ran regular field goal, or would you have elected to kick it like that?
And me and my coach, we debated back and forth.
Yeah.
And sometimes we as coaches, but nobody knows how it feels in those situations. You got like 25 seconds to make a decision. I don't know if they had a timeout or not, but sometimes you can overcoach it. And I think our kicker is more confident with the regular field goal, so we probably need a regular field goal. And we probably need to start, make sure he practices the free kick in case they have to go through. But he's more comfortable with the regular hold deal. And, so like I said, it was a unique situation. First time it's ever happened to my coaching career. And, it just kind of made me laugh that, it would happen then in such a tight ball game.
This is the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Larry Harold on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Coach, we go down. It seems like we got down in the second half 27-20. We come back and, we kicked the field goal, made it 27-23. Defense got us a lot of 3-and-outs in the second half. We got the ball on that last drive and we drove it down, and Sean runs a 41-yard touchdown. But, as a spoiled Brunswick High fan, I'm thinking, man, we left too much time on the clock.
Oh, me too.
And we go up 30-27. They get the ball back. Describe that last drive.
I'm just like you. The only thing I was upset about, it was 3rd and 2. I knew he was going to get the first down, and I see Sean bust through the side. I'm like, fall down, son. There's too much time on the clock. I think it was like 2:32 left on the clock, but he scores. It's 4th down and 15. We hit the quarterback 3 straight times. I'm expecting us to hit it, and by God, he rears back and throws the perfect corner pass that you could throw. The kid toe taps in front of while getting hit, and it was a clear first down right there in front of me. And I think I lost 2 years off of my life. I'm sitting there like, are you serious? So I think after that, the quarterback breaks, we lose contain, breaks up the sideline 50 yards. I'm like, we cannot get out of our own way.
Yeah.
And then we, defense, we called a timeout, let the kids catch their breath. They had to spike it because they didn't have any more timeouts. They missed the 3rd and 2, had to kick the field goal, and our kids sold out. Donovan Ogilvy comes off of the left side of that block and flashes so hard for that kicker, makes him pull it to the left, and that's what caused the miss. So just everybody sold out. The thing that I'm most pleased about, Kip, is that they started the game out with an onside. Our kids never panicked. 5 minutes to go to the ball game, we're inside the 20, going to score. Sean fumbles the ball. I don't think anybody remember that. And our kids didn't panic. Right. They looked at the offense and said, hey, stay in the game. We finna get the ball back right now. We finna go 3 and out, get the ball back. And that's what they did. And these type of triumphs, we've been doing this all season. And finally we was able to overcome. And that's going to help us going forward in these tough games. As we go forward, these young kids realize that no matter what happens, no matter what goes bad, that we can overcome all obstacles.
Coach, we were impressed in the broadcast booth. I mean, Richmond Hill had no timeouts, but they were driving late in the football game. We had one timeout, and we were on our heels, and you elected to use that one timeout. And I thought that was the best use of a timeout during this whole entire football season. It calmed our kids down, and then we made that last stand.
Yeah, and it's happened both ways. I've had it before. When I was at my last school, a team was going down. We had a timeout left, and the coach was like, Coach, you want to call a timeout? And I was like, no, because as an offensive player, sometimes if you call a timeout and they have no timeouts left, that kind of gives them time to collect and get their thoughts together. Well, our defensive line is a lot more heavier than what I've had in the past. And those jokers was up and pumping from blowing those guys down. So that's why, Coach Lockett looked at me and said, Coach, let's go ahead and burn it down. And so we burnt it, pulled it to the side, and basically just told, this is it. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where we can change our program around and stop the, near misses. And, they just dug in and, pulled out the victory. And I'm, again, pleased with my coaches and my players.
Coach's homecoming tomorrow night at Glenn County Stadium. We've got the Bradwell Institute Tigers coming to town. They haven't had much success this football season, but historically Bradwell, like we were talking during the break, they're a dangerous football team, and there's going to be a time, again, where Bradwell is a dangerous team. They look pretty solid on film to me. I know they haven't won a football game, but you had stated on the Monday night show, but there was some things they do on offense and defense that kind of worry you a little bit.
Yeah, their wing T, which Coffee ran, which Camden ran, which Ware will run, which is a rare offense now. It requires tremendous discipline on the part of your defensive line, your linebackers, and your corner. Everybody has to want to tackle that night. There's a lot of misdirection. You have to read your keys, your lineman pulling. You can't look in the backfield because so much different motion. And Bradwell is not a bad team. I don't look at records. When we watch film, I'm looking at the players. They have a young team. They have a freshman quarterback. They have a freshman running back. A litany of sophomores and juniors on the defensive side of the ball. Those defensive linemen are big. They have some long athletic linebackers, so they definitely have our full attention. And we had a great week of practice. I mean, the kids are really focused in and really want to get, a consecutive victory, but also that it's homecoming and to have a good showing in front of our home crowd. And we just can't wait to take the field and to defend our home turf on tomorrow night.
One of the highlights of my high school football playing career, my senior year, I was player of the week for homecoming. And back in those days, we used to have the dance right after the game. So there was nothing like winning homecoming and strutting into a homecoming dance. And man, homecoming's a special time, and the crown of homecoming queen is kind of like one of those games where you see people you haven't seen in years, and it's just a great atmosphere. And unfortunately, it's going to be our last home game for the year. Seniors have played their last football game at Glenn County Stadium, so it's going to be kind of a senior night and homecoming all wrapped in one. We had our seniors recognized a couple of weeks ago. special night tomorrow night at Glenn County Stadium, Coach. The fair's in town, so there's a lot of things going on. And it's just a great time of year, and it's homecoming. That's all we need to say.
Yeah, and actually, because there's so much going on, the homecoming dance will be next weekend. You got Georgia, Florida, you had a fair, you had homecoming. I mean, you just had so many distractions, but amidst all that, again, I cannot commend my young men enough for the focus and poise that they showed. I was happy for them today to kind of relax. They got a chance to participate in the parade, the homecoming parade, which I've heard hadn't been done in a while. It just felt good. The community came out and cheered them on, wanted to let them know they wished them luck for tomorrow. And now we're about to go over here to the Glen Place Theater and check out a new movie called Woodlawn as a team. And, just come together and just spend some time before, like you said, we send those seniors off. And we just appreciated those 11 seniors for sticking with us. And I'm just glad that I had the opportunity to coach these young men.
One last question, Coach. This is a big part of the atmosphere for Georgia-Florida weekend. Georgia fans just converge on this part of the state, St. Simon's Island. Where does Georgia get points from on Saturday?
Georgia gets points from special teams and defense. They get a punt return. They get a fumble from Treon Harris, and Roquan Smith picks up and takes it back. And Sonny Michel rushes for 101 yards and 2 scores.
And that's how they get it done.
28-14.
Wow, man! All right, you got more confidence than I do. So
robberies, man. You got to throw all that other stuff out the door now.
I understand.
Throw it out.
All right, Coach. Good luck tomorrow night, and thank you for joining us this week on the Coach Larry Harold Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Come out next week. Well, we'll play next Thursday night, so we'll have to work out what we're going to do with the show next week. But we'll record the Coach Larry Harold Show from the Copper Pig one day next week, and we'll be in touch soon. So thank you, Coach, and go Pirates.
Go Pirates.
Kip Branch signing off from the Copper Pig.